Charlie Parsons, Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. Been a while, my friend, Mr. David Coldwell. How are you, sir?
You're too busy around at Eddie's house and Eddie's office and Eddie's jet, you know.
Getting the big exclusives, mate. Can't complain.
How are you doing? Well, it's good to see, mate. It's good to see.
Here in Newcastle, ahead of next gen, you've got Muhammad Ali and Hopey Price on the card. Just another opportunity to talk about Muhammad first. Pro debut, good amateur experience. Certainly, I said to him, you're going to get used to people speaking about your name time and time again. It's just going to come with it. But just how excited are you to have him part of your team?
Yeah, you know what? It's another good addition. He's very, very young, so it's like I'm always going to be like, forget about the hype. Just learn your craft, learn your trade. The hype's always going to be there because of his name, but you know, it is a case of where he has grown up with that name. Do you know what I mean? So when you're a kid that's boxing and you're boxing amateurs and stuff like that, and you've got that name, people are always going to be, you know, there's more pressure on you. Do you know what I mean? And then they're always going to slag you off if you're not boxing like Muhammad Ali. You know. But anyone that compares Muhammad Ali actual ability to Ali's ability is a bit of an idiot, because he's an 18-year-old kid that's just starting out in his journey. Do you know what I mean? So it's more about his assets. He's very, very fast. He's got nice moves. He's got, you know, he's got a bit of power as well. And it's about his education at this point of time. For the next year, 2 years, he's very, very young. He's only just 18. So I'm more interested in his development and his education. Whoa, nearly took out that chandelier. It's all going off at this press conference.
The press has been mad today. Geese are falling over.
Yeah, it's been mad.
Bottle of Prime, I think, chucked out.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. But yeah, I'm excited to just watch him grow and develop as a fighter.
Dave, Hopey Price makes a step up. I believe first title he's fighting for.
Kind of. First problem. He won the IBO International at Headingley. But
yeah, kind of, right, yeah. First proper title, we'll say. Just how excited are you for him? Come on, leaps and bounds. I remember being a fan back years ago watching Fight Camp, and my mum, and it was like, oh my God, I love this kid. He can box, can't he? And my mum's always like, when's Hopey Price on? When's Hopey Price on? So I will be ringing her and letting her know this weekend he's coming on leaps and bounds. It's in a division that's sort of blossoming now in the UK. How excited are you for him to get another outing in what is a tough opponent?
I'm very excited. I'm excited for this stage of his career. It was really important when I sat down with Matchroom and told him what I wanted for Opie that I got, basically, and that is that I don't. After every fight, Eddie was like, "Oh, he needs to be let off the leash." No, he's only 9 fights in, but if you look at his record, he's been fighting good opponents at this. Now this next stage, which is his next, 2023, it's about fighting guys that have been there, done it, and not at that level anymore, but have got that experience, got that know-how and knowledge of being at that highest level. Masoon has boxed for the WBC world title. He's been European champion. He's been there, and he's still got ambition. That's the other thing that I want. I want him with still got the ambition. So he can learn off of these sort of fighters, add to his experience. So when next year comes along, then I'll let him off the leash, and he's in all the big fights. So he's only just 23 last week. He's only 9-0. After 13-0, then L plates are off.
I remember speaking to you before about Hopey, and the way you speak about him is always so nice, because you say he's not got a massive social life away from boxing. He just loves being in the gym. I know he's had his difficulties over the last couple of years and so, which we've touched on before. Just how proud of you are him as a coach, but as a man that he's turning into.
Massively. His attitude and mentality is unbelievable. He's had a lot of difficulties. A lot of emotional stress, a lot of heartache over these last couple of years, and he's handled it incredibly well. And that's, obviously we had the pandemic, but that's the other reason why a couple of times he had to pull off the shows, is because of certain things that have happened in his life. But he's handled it so well. He's not gone off the rails. He's stayed as focused as he can be. And he's just stayed. He's just a really good human being. There's people that you come across in life that are just good people, and him and his family are just good people, and it's more than just being a coach. You know what I mean? I'm very, very proud of him, and he's so young, so level-headed, and I'm lucky in my gym. I've got some really nice people. I work with some really nice fighters, and it's a pleasure to go.
Must be a real good environment.
Oh, it is. It's great. But unfortunately, also what that means is that it's very emotional, as in a roller coaster, because you have
when one loses, everyone loses.
But from my point of view, when it's high, it's unbelievably high. But then when you have a loss, then it's gut wrenching. It's absolutely heartbreaking, and it takes some getting over, sort of thing. But that comes. I'd rather be like that than be cold and just not really, there's no
be invested.
I'd rather be invested than not.
Well, Dave, let's move on to the world of boxing as a whole. We've just seen now DAZN have announced that they've got a channel on Sky, 429. For everyone saying, look, we can't see it, it's not accessible, etc. I suppose there's their hit back. I said to Frank, how's this come about? He said, well, the same way that BT Sport have got a channel on Sky. Valid. It does add more eyes on the sport. It's now got an app and a TV channel.
And I mean, I knew a bit ago that this was the goal. That was what it was trying to do. But obviously, it's difficult trying to convince some people to watch an app. It's difficult trying to convince some people to get that app to be able to get onto the TV and think. Not everybody's like savvy with that. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of content on DAZN that the programming is really good. All the behind the scenes stuff like that. But I hardly watch the app stuff because it's messing about with stuff like that. But funny thing is like everybody watches Netflix, Amazon. It's just that it's easy to get to because it comes straight off your remote. Now DAZN's on Sky. It's very easy. It's simple. Type in just tell your fans what channel it is. There you go, bosh. Do you know what I mean? It's very. Oh fuck! I can't believe I just said that.
You said bosh.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't mean it in that word. That way. It's just Johnny Fisher rubbing off on you. But it's
he is all of us.
But it's easy to do. So it's a massive game changer. You've got to subscribe, but you've got to subscribe to Sky, you've got to subscribe to BT Sport, and you make your choice. If you want to subscribe to DAZN, but you don't know how to work it, now you know how to work it, because it's on your remote control, just type it in, 429.
I broke the news to Cyrus Patterson when I was interviewing him. He didn't even know, and his face just lit up. And he was like, "Oh, what? So like, I'll be able to watch on Sky."
This is the thing: is you get what fighters are upset and moaning about the fights aren't being seen or aren't being seen by as many as what you feel that they could do it, because it's not as accessible as the others. So I understand, because I've got fighters that have been boxing on DAZN for the last 2 years myself, and I understand. This is where it changes. This is where it's like, right, now let's see, because their production and everything is fantastic. So now it gives them a better platform to be on, so more eyes can get on it.
I'm going to say 429 as well. It's not like it's just been bundled on a random channel somewhere. That is mixed in with all the sport channels.
I thought it was going to be on one of the
700, the QVC, an ideal one.
Yeah, definitely. But it's like 429. It's easy, so it's fine. It's good.
Dave, yesterday Josh Buatsi was announced as a boxer signing. Obviously, Matchroom disappointed. Just spoke to Frank Smith in some of the comments that were made. Obviously, they've had a long-standing relationship since the Olympics. They signed him. I think he made his pro debut, end of 2016 or start of 2017. Fought on some brilliant bills over the years. I remember Lomachenko Campbell card against Ryan Ford, 2019. Obviously, the Richards fight, etc. No longer with 258. What do you make of everything as an outsider?
As an outsider, it's the same as what? Listen, fighters have got one career. So if they feel that something's not right, if they feel they've got to make a change in order to get the best out of their career, then I understand that. Yeah, it's like when I've had fighters leave me, and I get it. It's not putting me bitter about it. The only thing is, I just feel as though it's the parting shots, kind of not needed, because I know that with certain fighters, you want them. The promoter wants them to be a bit more outgoing, a bit more like easy to deal with in media. Oh, is there a fight? Who are you calling out? Who are you looking for now? Oh, I don't call anybody out. Mate, that's difficult for fans to get involved with. So you can't blame promoters for not being able to turn you into a superstar. But you're getting the slots, and you're getting, listen, I've worked with fighters like Jamie McDonnell and Gav McDonnell who have got great personalities, but they never had the camera airtime for you to be able to see it. and the boxing at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening. Jamie defending his world title. Buatsi's been getting good slots, so you know he has had a good job done on him by Matchroom. Can't knock him for that, but I understand how yesterday I understand how he's saying, you know, I want my fans to be able to watch me. You know, we are having to explain to them how to download an app and stuff. So I understood that yesterday.
Maybe not the case now. Yeah.
Today's a different day, and it's kind of like you didn't need to do that, but they might offer him a lump of money, but it's a great signing for Sky.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
great signing because they're in the process of building their stable and what have you. And Buatsi's a fighter that should be in the big fights. Immense talent, great fighter. Just needs to fight in the big fights, you know. And Bivol, Batabiev, Callum Smith, Anthony Yard, they're the kind of fights that you want to see. I know they're talking about Dan Aziz. That. Fair enough. Dan's done it all the way through, British, Commonwealth, European champion. Yeah, they're not the world level fights that Buatsi should be with the build up he's had, but it's still a good fight. It's just not a Bivol fight.
Well, let's pick up on that. Obviously, Matchroom offered him $1.5 million for the Buatsi fight. He turned that down. His reason being yesterday was there's a lot of stipulations that come in with that, i.e. signing 2-3 fights longer. Just your reaction to that?
So that, I'm not being funny. If you've come to the end of your deal, and then you're offered a fight for a world title against one of the promoters' fighters, right? You're not going to get a one fight. That's standard practice in boxing. You fight for a title. You got it's an option. 2-3 fights. That's standard practice. Now, when you get that, you have to look from the fighter's point of view as well. If he's not happy with that promoter or that network, which sounds like this was the case, was network. Because, like I said, I can't see how you can fault the promotional job that they've done on him. But on the network side of things, if you're not happy because you're boxing on an app and you don't want to be boxing on that channel anymore, you want to go over to the one that's the biggest platform, I get that. So you're not going to sign them options because you win that world title, you're stuck there for another 3 fights or whatever. So I get that. And Matchroom have got to understand that as well. But it's like, from Matchroom's point of view, they're never going to give you, and whether it's Matchroom, Top Rank, Frank Warren, they're never going to say to you, okay, here you go, you can have this world title shot, no options, if you win it, you can go. Nobody's going to do that. So that's the nature of the game. But I see both people's views on that.
Sorry, it just caught me like looking around mid-thing. I suppose picking up on that as well, you know, the Dan Aziz fight, Dan is someone who I love and I think British boxing has come to love. The way he's done it is absolutely fantastic and a real fighter. But like you say, you know, Josh Buatsi's been at this now since, 2017. I think in 2019, Dan was fighting for a southern area on sort of prelim bouts and Josh Buatsi was on main card, sort of 2-3 away from the main event. You know, obviously financially he's going to do what's right for him and everything. He also spoke about the Yard fight, but obviously Yard being with Queensbury, etc. I don't know. It just all seems a little bit confusing from our side.
When Buatsi turned pro, come from Olympics, turned pro, the build-up he's had, the fights that he's had, the limelight, the slots that he's had in the push. Would you not think that by 30 years old he'd be further on his career than what he is? So that's where you compare. That's why you say about Dan Aziz, right? That's why Dan Aziz is a fighter that's now just broken out of domestic, proven he's European champion, he's European level, right? But you don't know if he's world level yet. Why if you was excited about Buatsi's career, why would you be excited? And this is no disrespect to Dan Aziz. I see it from his point of view. He's
from a timing perspective.
He's there. He's in that same mix as Yards and everybody like that. But from Buatsi's point of view, you've got to look at it and say, well, why at 30 years old are you still at this level? You need to be L plates taken off. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I get the disappointment. It's Dan Aziz. It's a good fight. When the fight happens, it's a good fight. It's a really good fight. Yeah. But it isn't in the Callum Smith,
you know, when you look at Bivol and then there's
Bivol, BF brackets.
Just finally from me, Dave, Conor Benn, we're expecting him to headline start of June in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, everything's gone on. He's relinquished his British boxing licence and the WBC have cleared him. He's got his ranking now, number 7 with the WBC. Just your thoughts on that, I suppose, and also now Sean Gibbons, Manny Pacquiao's promoter, has come out and said at 44 years of age, he is ready for that fight. I know they're exploring maybe Eubank or whatever. What are your thoughts on it all?
I'm not interested in a Manny Pacquiao fight, and that's not through whether he's fighting Conor Benn or he's fighting whoever. He's 44 years old. He's been retired. He's gone back into politics. Last I knew, he's a legend, and why is he boxing? But why is apart from the payday, and because you've got a legend name on your record, it don't mean anything. It's like when Amir Khan beat Barrera, right? I went whooping up and down and saying, "Oh, what a win! What a win!" It was like an ancient Barrera, right? This is kind of like worse because, Pacquiao's retired and looks an absolute shadow of himself. So I'm not interested in fighting anybody. Never mind Conor Benn. So that's my thoughts on that.
Fair play, Dave. I suppose with the WBC clearing him, I know the letter that they put out wasn't great, to be honest. Obviously suggested a lot with the whole egg situation. Conor's come out and said, look, that's not the case, whatever. But he has got his ranking back, number 7 with the WBC, regardless of whatever statement they want to put out. What do you make of him having his WBC ranking back?
I think the fact that the WBC brought up and offered an excuse for him
that doesn't even exist.
That don't exist. That wasn't in his defence. It weren't the WBC's job to give him an excuse. It was WBC's job to look at his evidence that he prepared and then make a call on that, and they didn't. So that's a bullshit call. And I feel as though, why have they done that? Because that's not your job. Is this where he's saying about the VADA testing was wrong and this, 3 tests, all that sort of stuff, 4 tests, 3 tests clear, last one comes back, all that sort of stuff. If that's a fault in the VADA testing system, that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because I've got fighters
who are also enlisting to the same thing.
And we need to know that that's not a flawed system. If it is flawed, and the WBC have looked at that and said, "Oh, we can't go with that because that's gonna tarnish our clean boxing program and all that," then what the WBC doing there by offering a way out and not looking at that, is that not corrupt? So this whole, that's why I don't put anything on Twitter about what I think about this because I don't know all the facts. I'm not saying, but you're asking me my opinion from what I know and what I see. The whole thing is murky as fuck, and it's just wrong. And how do, when fans come up to you, you're working in boxing, fans come up to you and say, "Oh, what about this? What about blah blah?"
And you're like, "Oh,
what the fuck?"
I know.
Do you know what I mean? It needs all clearing up, and I'm not involved in it, so I don't see all the ins and outs of it. The only thing that I know is that it failed two tests. That's all the thing I know. It was actually in the system. And the thing with where we were saying, "Oh, why didn't you just go and, with the border control, give it to the border control, let them look at it, let them then make a call." When he Fight Disciples, fucking brilliant. I'd have picked up on what he says. When he says, because it's in the food, that's why he's not going to border control, because the border control are just going to say, "You're responsible for whatever's in your body. There you go, ban or whatever." So that's why he's not going to border control, not because it pride or whatever, not because of reasons what he was saying in his interview. It's because you'll get a ban. That's it. Job done. So I just think it's fucking dirty as fuck. It's all a mess. It's a proper mess, and it's just, it makes it's not what I think's not relevant. It's not going to change any outcome. That's why I don't. That's why I'm not saying.
You see it as a boxing fan.
But you're asking me a question, and that's why I see it. If it was my fighter that was coming up against a fighter that had failed drug tests and nobody told me, or it's just shit. I just think it's murky, and I just think everything needs sorting out with it. And I haven't got the answers because I'm not involved in it.
Fair play, Dave. Always a pleasure to pick your brain as a fan foremost, and I suppose the viewers will have enjoyed as well. Just a final message ahead of Saturday night. 2 brilliant young talents in the ring on this Next Gen show.
Just hope everybody tunes in. Hopey Price is special, and this year is going to be outstanding. You're going to see what it's all about over this next 12 months. Thanks for your support, for everybody that supports everything that we do in the gym and with the lads. And keep supporting boxing, because it's like everything. It goes on ups and downs. Keep supporting boxing. We'll get through all the shit, and it'll be flying again one day soon.
Dave Coldwell, top